And we are back. Another beautiful day at the Waterboyz Show, man. The sun is shining, life is good, and we are here in front of you once again, and we thank you for rocking with us. Like we always talk about, I'm not going to spend too much time, but we do have to talk about digital currency. That's when you give us a like, a share, you subscribe, tell a friend to tell 10 more friends, and after that, tell them to tell 10 more. Yes, you heard it right. I ain't going to tell you how to spell it. Just know 10 more is what you need to do. You know what I mean? Like us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you can find this show, wherever you can hear our voices, please like the show. Please tell a friend. It helps more people find this show where we speak about these blood pressure birds and let them know what we have going on. And also, if you out there in audio land, if this is gracing your ears, if you out there on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, leave us a comment, leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a review. It helps more people find this show, that you all come out and support, and that we are continuing to grow, and helps us build this community into a huge ball of just loving people who can support each other when the Falcons win or when they go through something terrible. You know what I mean? We here for each other. Shout out to Clarence, man. It's a guy named Clarence who always come in. I just want to shout you out because I know you're going to be listening, my guy. I appreciate you for always coming over there on Spotify podcast. Thank you so much for your support. And then after that, man, look, go to 285clothing.com and you can get you one of these. This is that shut up or move. If you saw my skit saying anybody who lives in the city of Atlanta that's not from Atlanta but talks about the city of Atlanta, you can either get with it, shut up, or go ahead and move out the city. And if you represent that, go on 285clothing.com. That's 285clothing.com and get you one of these shirts. Shut up or move. Sincerely, Atlanta. And now that that's out the way, man, look, we finna get right down to brass tacks, man. How everything going, be rich?
Everything good, man. You sound kind of aggressive, man. Like you just want to slap a fan or something. What's going on with you?
I would never slap. I don't know where that came from.
Shut up or move. I'm like, whoa. Is that real sound? Aaron, I think I know what it is. You mad at Aaron? I should be. Please. All right, let's go, man.
I think he chose that time to try to create something between me and Aaron. You know what I'm saying? I do feel away, but we'll discuss it when the show is over.
We just lost 10 subscribers.
We'll discuss it. I was going to wait until the show is over. Don't worry. When company's gone, we're going to have a conversation.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? But look, man, listen.
B to A.
Oh, yeah, no, I ain't going to be that, man. You're a grown man. We're going to have a conversation,
okay,
man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, look, B, man, he got his shades on today. I see you, man.
Hey, man, we got a special guest, right? Man. I got to look cool, man.
Okay. Let me know when you accomplish that. So, look, man, I
got to tickle myself.
Yeah, you the stutter. Hold on.
Aaron, give me the camera. I got to tickle myself. That was just too funny.
Oh, it was, my guy. Yeah. It was good. Everybody in the room cracked a smile
Ain't
about
nobody
it.
Laughing.
Look, trust me, if I was you, I'd feel away too.
All right.
But anyway, man, let's get straight to it. You know what they say? Shut up or move. Cut his mic, Aaron. Hey, look, man, look. Mm-hmm. Today, though, we have a special guest. Me and my partner are sitting down, man, with one of Atlanta Falcons' greatest to ever play for their franchise, one of the greatest to ever play tight end, somebody that, boy, Bo Hagan used to just throw touchdowns to him on Madden. Every time you turn around, he's one of his favorite players to throw to on Madden. 100%, man. Look, you couldn't stop him in real life. You couldn't stop him on the video game. Somebody that I'm excited to have on the show. He took his time to sit down and talk to the Waterboyz Show. Man, somebody who spent time right here in this Atlanta Falcons organization and is still an Atlanta Falcons fan, even though he spent a short stint up there with the Patriots. He's still an Atlanta Falcons fan and represents them Atlanta Falcons, man. If y'all don't know who we talking about, y'all give it up for none other than the great Alge Crumpler in the building, man. What's up, my guy?
What up, fellas?
What's up? Hey, man, you still like you can play, man.
I tell you, I can play, but D-tackle. I don't put on a few pounds. So I don't know if I can still get out there and make some plays, but I definitely go out there and root for the fellas.
Okay, man. Hey, well, look, if you can play D-tackle, that means you still got some of that athleticism then.
I knocked somebody out.
But you played defense in high school, right? Did you play defense in high school, college? Did you play a little bit of both sides of the ball at one point in your life?
I never left the field in high school. I was a defensive player pretty much most of the time in high schough. North Carolina, Mac Brown, when he recruited me, he was the only school to really recruit me to play offense.
Okay.
I went up there for a camp, and, at the end of camps, you're there all day, right? And
Okay.
then they do these 7-on-7s.
Okay.
And after 7-on-7, I was scoring like 3 or 4 touchdowns in each 7-on-7. And the tight ends coach came and the quarterbacks coach came and walked over and was like, "You ever thought about playing offense?"
We got to get that boy on over here. Hey, man. Well, look, Crump, man, there's a lot of fans already in the chat. And don't worry, man, we're going to make sure that we talk to y'all and acknowledge some of your comments. As the show go on and you listening, we'll get to a point where we say, hey, shoot us some questions for Alge. But look, man, how you been, man? Atlanta Falcons fans want to know how you been, what's going on with you these days, man. How is life treating you, my brother?
Life's good. I've been enjoying life. I go to every game. I probably missed maybe 5-6 games over the past 15 years that I've been retired. So had the same season tickets. I sit in the same seats. I know everybody in my section. I know everybody in front of me. I know everybody behind me. I know everybody in the aisle next to me.
Nice.
That's awesome.
We chop it up. We celebrate together. We commiserate together.
Yeah.
When we win, we high fiving. When we lose, we just walking out of there sad. So I'm still a fan. I love the game of football, and I love the Dirty Birds. So I'm there. I'm not much in the public eye anymore, but I'm supporting the team everywhere I can.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you get a chance to go to the Super Bowl?
I did not go to the Super Bowl. I was sitting in my basement watching the game. Now, the Dirty Birds know I'm Dirty Bird for life, but I did retire with the Patriots, so I was there.
Who are you going for? Hold on.
I was rooting for Atlanta,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell you this: at halftime, and I told Trey this earlier. At halftime,
Yeah.
I got a text from every Falcon fan I know. Congratulations. And when the game ended, I got a text from every Patriot fan I know. Congratulations.
Man.
Hey,
And it hurt because Gronk was my young guy. He was the guy that I was in the room with him. I was a captain of that team up in New England, but he didn't play in that game.
Yeah.
But I had guys like Julian Edelman. Of course I played with Tom Brady, and a lot of guys in that organization were still there from my time there. So I was happy for those guys, but I had that pit in my stomach, pretty much like every Falcons fan. Like, how could this happen?
Yeah. Hey, question. You got a chance to play with Michael Vick
Yep.
and Tom Brady.
Yep.
Compare those two, man, like playing with those guys.
Well, Tom was all about consistency and raising his level of play. Mike, everything about Mike was the Michael Vick experience. That the video game, how you play in the video game, the excitement, the rock star aura that he had in this city. It was different. I love playing for Mike. I tell people all the time, like, if it wasn't for Mike, I wouldn't have paid my house off. Catching the touchdowns for Mike, making them plays, just seeing the excitement of the city. It was different. I crave for Mercedes-Benz Stadium to have the same feel that the Georgia Dome had, at its height when it was rocking, because it was, I've seen some of those moments in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but they came from like the SEC championship, or they came from FIFA that just left here. I need to see that same type of energy, for the Falcons. Now the fans bring it. But the players, we got to win some games, man, and not blow games and not do the things that we're constantly doing in this city, and it just makes it tough, But I'm still excited. I'm a forever optimist, so I'm still excited about the direction of the organization, having Matt Ryan back, and just putting some key pieces there. But man, we gotta stay healthy, man. This injury bug is killing me.
But look, it's going through the city of Atlanta. Period. Like, I think the only team that's not experiencing it is the Dream. Everybody else, man, is experiencing the injury bug big time here in the city of Atlanta. And now that the Falcons are back in camp, it seems to be our turn. So, speaking of that, let's go ahead and speak on it. Jalon Walker, second-year linebacker out of Georgia, one of the Georgia Bulldogs. If you're a UJ fan like me and B Rich, then you know what he can do. And if you're a Falcons fan, you watched him last year, then you know what he can do. How big or devastating is that injury to our defense?
Well, I was excited about the young rookies last year on the defensive side of the ball, Jalon and James, and how they got after the quarterback. I remember back in my days when I was doing radio, I used to argue with Thomas Dimitroff about getting some sacks. We got to get some guys in here that can sack the quarterback. We got to get some guys in here that can sack the quarterback. I argue with them all the time. And I'm like, man, we finally got some guys that can sack the quarterback, and we got sacks last year. We still didn't make the playoffs, so I was confused. But for Jalon to go down, that's tough. Don't know what's going to happen with James' situation defensively. And then, our quarterbacks, we got to get them healthy. So not the greatest start to camp, but, we still got 5 more weeks before we can get on the field and make some things happen.
All right. Speaking of the offense, man, and the quarterbacks, who do you think is going to walk away with the starting role this year, man, between Tua and Penix?
Well, if Tua plays the way he played against us last year when he put them 4 tutties up and put 32 points up on us, it's probably going to be Tua out the gate. But he's got to be healthy. I'm rooting 100%. For Michael. I've talked to so many guys that when they're not fully healthy, they don't put their best product on the field. And I'd rather, Michael be completely healthy before he gets back out there because Tua's going to spin the ball. He's going to throw the ball. He's had these complicated offenses that he just knows where to put the ball. The problem is you got to keep him protected. And we got some right tackle issues right now. I don't know where the hell Caleb McGarry is, but he might need to come on back. We need some guys out there that can make sure that the quarterback can stay upright because without somebody that's going to spin it, where we at?
Nowhere. And we have so much tied up in the offense right now. They have to figure that quarterback position out because we are becoming top heavy on offense. You know what I'm saying? Great players, but once you invest that much, it's got to move. You know what I'm saying?
We got a lot of cap room, so that's good.
I heard we still got a lot of cap room, even after Bijan.
So after all the signings from Bijan to Drake, to Alge, not Alge, to Kyle Pitts, man, we're slated to have the second most cap room next year. That's amazing. How in the hell they pull that off? We paid all our guys, and we're slated to have the second most.
Got rid of Kirk, baby. Got rid of that contract Kirk had.
Hey,
man.
That's awesome, man.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I saw it come across that even after the Bijan Robinson signing, that we still had the second most cap room that's going to be coming into the next season. I'm like, man, they are really doing their thing. And so I don't know if any big moves are to be made out there by the Falcons, but they're putting themselves in a position to go out and get whatever they may need to supplement and fill in these positions that they may not be able to draft.
Well, I don't know how many big moves you want to make now. You got your core in place, right?
Yeah.
So go out there and start out and win some games. If you could put some pieces in, during the season that could come in and get you over the hump, that's great. Our problem is we haven't figured out how to get past the hump, that second part of the season.
At all.
When I was playing, we would come out of the gate, 6-2, 7-2, and then we would kind of tail off. This team, kind of starts out slow and then wants to win whenever we knocked out of the playoffs, then we want to win 3 or 4 games.
You right about that. So look, let me ask you this now. I don't believe, it's just me personally, even though I did what's called a sports bar where I do a rhyme about something around sports and mainly it's around Atlanta sports. We did one about an Atlanta sports curse. Now, even though I did that, I don't personally believe in a curse here in the city of Atlanta. But I do want to ask you, it seems like no matter who the regime is or who is in the head coaching position or the GM position or some of the players, we seem to have some of the same problems year in and year out. Why do you think that's so? You said y'all will start off fast, then kind of hit a lull. This team be so iffy. They get out to playoff contention, and then all of a sudden they win. We saw some of Matt Ryan's teams not doing those first years with Mike Smith, but some of the Dan Quinn years where just that first year in 15, 5-0, looked like they were going to do something, and then we lose a whole bunch of games. Why do you think it happens like that with our Atlanta Falcons, and how can the organization itself get over that?
If I had to answer that, I'd be running the team. I don't have the answer. If I had the answer to that, I'd call Arthur Blank right now and be like, hey, X, Y, Z needs to be done, and we're going to move over the hump. So that's Matt's job now. That's Matt Ryan's job now to figure out, what he sees on the field and make in-season decisions that can get us over the hump. He's got the experience to do it. So as a player, from a player's perspective, so, trust the guys that he's hired and inject his opinion when he needs to inject his opinion, and I think we'll be fine. It's just we just got to – everything to me boils down to quarterback, man. We got to get our quarterback in place. I don't care who wins it between Michael or Tua, but we just got to get the quarterback in place so that those core pieces that we mentioned, the Bijan, the Drake London, the Kyle Pitts, can thrive. I was fortunately able to thrive. My first Pro Bowl was when Mike was hurt. I don't know if people remember that, when Mike broke his ankle. I went to the Pro Bowl with
that was 03,
Doug
right?
Johnson and Kurt Kittner. Right. I went to the Pro Bowl with those guys. Nobody remembers that. They're like, oh, Mike. Yeah. But we didn't win no games. You know, I went to the Pro Bowl. We won 5 games. I'm over in Hawaii. Like, am I supposed to be here?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really.
You want to win.
I want to win. I mean, it was cool. My family was happy, but I wanted to win. You know, we had just come off of a season where we beat the Green Bay Packers, first team to ever
in Lambeau
in Lambeau Field, win a game, and I'm like, oh, this is great. We're gonna be. I come to the organization a couple of years after go to the Super Bowl. You know, couple down years. We go beat the Packers. I'm like, man, it's a wrap.
It's up.
We up. We going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Then we win 5 games. I'm like, I don't know. You know, this is tough. You know, I'm feeling guilty for having an individual successful season.
Yeah.
But the team not winning.
Man, we kind of had a discussion about that particular season when Vick got hurt. Peerless Price, your old teammate, he got mad at me about something I said, and then he mentioned in the comment section that, you know, like he had a good year that year, and it wasn't all his fault. You know what I'm saying?
Peerless was a great teammate.
Yeah.
Pierce was an absolutely great teammate. We just weren't set up for him to succeed. You know, we were a run-first offense. I was the leading receiver on the team, and we really didn't have a number 2 receiver at the time. So
to take pressure off him when he wanted to go there.
Everything, you know, I remember we went to Denver. He had a phenomenal game, and then, you know, we had a bye week, and then we come back, and the game plan's completely different. It's like we wouldn't build off of that, you know. But in terms of a actual teammate, Peerless was great. You know, in terms of him being in the locker room, him doing everything the coaches asked, he just didn't make them plays that the fans could rally behind all the time, and everybody just felt like he just had a rough season. But I mean, look, he had a chance to talk to you. Y'all talked. You know,
well, I mean, we ain't really
y'all
talk.
gonna have a difference of opinion.
Well, yeah,
y'all allowed to have difference of opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I don't want to talk about you, Peerless, man. You already let us know how you feel, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You know, so he dropped the comment, but I was just thinking about what you said. That was your first year making the Pro Bowl, and it made me think back to the comment that he said that, hey, y'all don't even look at, I actually had a great year that year. If you look at my numbers, I had better numbers that year than I had other years. So you tell me, he didn't say what the problem was, but he was just alluding to that.
If you go back to my Pro Bowl numbers, those numbers wouldn't be anywhere close to what half the season would be for a good tight end today. And I led the team in receptions with 40-something catches. We were a run-first team, so it couldn't have been all on Peerless.
Yeah,
right, I respect here that. With Alge Crumpler, man. I need everybody to, if you got any questions for Alge, man, go ahead. We'll go through some questions in a minute. Make sure you share the live right now, like the live. Let's get the algorithm going. Let's get this thing going. Alge, I want to ask you something, man. What coach brought you in the draft? Was it Dan Reeves? It was Dan Reeves.
Dan Reeves brought me in. Ron Hill was a GM. And it was shocking to me that I was coming to Atlanta because there was no I went to the Senior Bowl, didn't interview with a single Falcons personnel person. I went to the Combine, I interviewed with all these teams. When I sat down in Charlotte, my family's home, my late mom's home at the time, my agent, family members, I had about 6 or 7 teams that I was guaranteed to go to, based on all the interviews and everything. And then Atlanta calls and they draft me, and I had zero clue. Now, I trained here in Atlanta. As soon as I graduated, I flew to Atlanta, and I trained here every single day, working on the Combine. The scouts told me after I was drafted that they used to be on the field just walking around with regular T-shirts on, evaluating all the guys that were training there.
Wow.
And just try not to like show their hand or tip their hand. We were doing interviews, we didn't even know it.
Wow.
You know, we out there pushing each other, competing, racing each other, lifting, doing all different type of things and sprinting and all this stuff. And we were getting evaluated. So you never know like who's watching or who's doing anything. But that's how I got on the Falcons' radar. Now, when I was drafted, you know, I thought it was going to be great. You know, I was like, man, my mom at the time's in Charlotte. You know, that's 3.5 hours from Atlanta.
Yeah, skipping the jump.
You know, that's perfect for me. But what I didn't realize was Dan Reeves had drafted O.J. Santiago, and then he drafted Reggie Kelly, and the team needed – I didn't know what the team needs were because I didn't interview with the Falcons. So I had no clue that I was coming here. I didn't know – so they needed a receiver. And then when I get off the plane in Atlanta, the article's like, Falcons fans upset because they draft another tight end. So it's like I had to like build my way up to like get in the good graces with Falcon fans. And it wasn't until my third season that I really felt accepted here, to be honest with you. I mean, it was just another player in the roster until about my third year.
Do you feel like if he'd have put more
For the playoffs?
They say he didn't study, man.
But for the
He wasn't
playoffs.
prepared for that game. It came out. He wasn't prepared for that game. He tried to go with natural ability, and I think they had them spies on him, and he couldn't do what he wanted to do. Do you feel if Michael Vick would have put in the work in the film room that we could have been a better team? Honestly?
Mike,
and I like Michael.
Mike has said that publicly, right?
Yes.
But we never walked around feeling like Mike didn't have the command of the huddle or command of what we were doing. I've been in huddles with quarterbacks that
You can tell they don't know
like
what they're doing.
what? No, Mike get the play. Mike called the play. We run the play. Mike had complete command of what we were doing. Now, what Mike did when we were not in the facility, I don't know. But in terms of when he stepped in the huddle, besides the Katrina game where none of us could hear a damn thing he was saying because it was too loud,
Yeah.
Mike pretty much had a command of everything that we were doing. He called the plays, we ran the plays, and we went to the plays. Now, the only thing is I'll say is we had a very good offense, right? But I learned certain things when I got around like Tom Brady. Like, we would call 2 plays in the huddle when I was in New England, and if Tom didn't like it, he called whatever the hell he wanted to call.
If he ain't like those 2 plays, he called
whatever the hell he wanted. I scored a touchdown in Buffalo on an audible that we ain't worked on. This was the last regular season game, and we ain't worked on it since training camp. He called an audible. I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I ran a route, and I called a touchdown on the goal line. I got to the sideline. I said, Tom, what the hell was that? He said, I knew you figured it out. I knew you figured it out.
Dang.
In Atlanta, we have 1 play. And
you had to run it.
And we had to run it. And if we had 2 plays, it was either a run to the right or run to the left.
That's how advanced it was.
That was it. I broke the huddle. If the D tackle was in a 1 technique, I know we was going this way. I would break the huddle. As soon as I see him line up, I already know what the play call is.
Yeah.
You know, in New England, I got to the point where I didn't even care what the play call was. Tom was going to call whatever he was going to call anyway at the line of scrimmage. If Mike would have had that freedom, maybe it would have been a different story. But we did what we were coached to do. He did what he was coached to do. Whatever the play call was, he got in the huddle, he called it with authority, and we ran the play.
So look,
point blank period.
Trey, I want to ask you something. You said that two plays you saw when Brian Dawkins hit Michael Vick and Brian Dawkins hit Alge Crumpler. Which one do you think was personally worse? And
which one I think was the worst?
Vick.
I thought Vick was dying.
Mike.
I said, like, look, I got emotional. I said, man, they trying to kill Vick. They trying to kill him. Vick was rolling around on the ground. They almost took my man out. The Vick hit.
Yes.
The Vick hit was worse. Cause I mean, like, so Crump, he took a huge hit, and it's a hit that I never have in my life taken, and especially at 51, I never want to take. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw Vick get hit, he almost got knocked out the screen. You were watching on TV, you see Vick running. Vick got knocked to this side of the screen, dog. Like, that's how hard Brian Dawkins hit him, like a straight up missile.
It was the play that I get hit on was partially my fault. It was a sluggo seam. Sluggo means slant and go, and I run the seam. Every coach that coaches that play says your window is 18 to 22 yards. That's where you catch. If it's before 18, the linebacker's probably going to get his hand on the ball. If it's after 22, you're probably going to get hit. Hugh Douglas is in front of me. Took me a while to get off the line of scrimmage. Then I had to get to my landmark. Then I had to make a move on whoever was covering me at the time. Doc had plenty of time to read the play.
Yeah.
By the time I got the ball in my hands, it was around 25 yards. If it's around 25 yards, he got time to come over there and make the play. Everybody talks about these windows, these tight windows. That's why the great quarterbacks are good, is because they can put the ball in those tight windows. That play took just a little bit. If I had a free release off the line of scrimmage and could get to my spot and could get to my landmark, Mike would have got the ball a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But he was waiting for that, what we call an indicator, for me to kind of make that little wiggle at the top of the route before he let the ball off, and it was just too far down the field. So I caught the ball. I lost. My next step never hit the ground.
Yeah.
I lost all the wind I had in my body.
Yeah.
And you held on to the ball. You held on to the ball, man.
And I held on to the ball. And I went to the sideline for one play.
One play.
And Ward
Let them know.
Ward done scored the very next play.
So look, I do want to talk about Vick just a little more, because you spoke about how Vick has always had command of the huddle as far as you concerned, and when you played with him. There's a thought process and a thinking and a belief by a certain amount of Falcon fans that part of the reason that you were successful is because Vick could only throw it to the tight end. Now, I heard you say earlier you were the number one option the year where Vick got hurt. So was it more Vick was just always looking for Crumpler, or this was design plays called to get you the ball? Because there's a lot of people who truly believe that one of the main reasons you were able to put up the numbers, not taken away from you, but that Vick used you as a security blanket because he couldn't distribute the ball. I don't personally believe that, but that's what a lot of other people believe. So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I think a security blanket would have averaged 10 yards a catch. I had a season where I averaged 16 yards a catch. I made plays down the field. You can't be the number one option making big-time plays down the field. I was the number one play-action target in our offense, but I was not the number one option in our offense.
Okay.
If it came to play-action, I was the number
one
one.
they looking for.
I was the number one option in our offense because we were a run-first team. Made plays. Now, my first 2 years in this offense, I was basically a scout team guy. I played behind Brian Kozlowski and Reggie Kelly.
Okay.
I was a scout team guy.
Kozlowski was all right. I remember.
Dan Reeves used to yell at me all the time because we were making shit up. Me and Mike was doing stuff on scout team that we necessarily weren't supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Mike and I came in together. We were roommates on the road, and we was creating havoc for our defense when the scout team was out there.
Yeah.
I ain't take no shit from nobody. I wanted to make plays. I went out there and made plays in scout team.
Yeah.
Mike and I established that rapport, that relationship, that I got you. So if I was the number one option, I would have had double the catches. A lot of those plays, we would script the first 15 plays. I wasn't making a catch. I would make the plays when we got to the red zone or later in the game when I came to the sideline, I was getting upset. That's the only time I was really making the plays.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I thrived, thankfully, in those crunch time moments, making plays like game winners and those types of things. But I would have preferred to been a more consistent target, throughout the game and throughout the years. And I just probably, I'm retired and I done had plenty of time to reflect. I probably could have been a little bit more vocal. I feel like guys nowadays need to
be vocal.
You need coaches that can understand guys that are going to be vocal and protect those guys in the room and not make a public stink when a guy is vocal. They need guys that want the football. There's a lot of good players that shy away from the moment. I promise you I wasn't one of them players that shied away from the moment.
I believe it.
Hey, we had B Mac on for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Brian McFadden.
Yeah. And I think one of your greatest games was against
It was
the
B-Mac.
And we told B Mac that you put it on him, man.
They scored a touchdown on him.
Yeah. You had 3 touchdowns that game?
I had three touchdowns that game. And the funny thing is, that's the last game the Steelers lost. The Steelers won Super Bowl that year.
Wow.
It's the last game the Steelers lost, but
Y'all whooped their ass.
and I was furious Saturday and Sunday leading up to the game because I didn't make weight that week.
What that mean?
I was 2 pounds overweight, so you get fined like $400 a pound.
Okay.
So I got fined. I come to the walkthrough on Saturday and I got a fine in my locker from Jim Moore. It was like $800 some. I got fined. So I went through the motions during walkthrough. I ain't talked to nobody on Sunday. I'm pissed. We get to the game. The defense creates a turnover. First play of the game, boom, I score a touchdown. I was like, okay. We run another play. We get to the down the field. Mike throw me the ball, score another touchdown. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Then we get into another play, and I'm Troy Polamalu that runs my route for me. I'm running a crossing route. So I was like, man, F this, I'm going up.
Yeah.
Mike sees me go up and throws it, and I score another touchdown. So now I done scored 3 touchdowns. I'm NFC Player of the Week. We win the game in overtime. My whole mood changed.
Yeah.
Did they still find you?
Oh, I walked in the Jim Moore's office with that fine and just slid it right onto his desk, and he ripped it up. It gave me
as he should.
He ripped it up, but it gave me a 30-minute spiel about accountability, and that's the reason, and those types of things. But man, like, I struggled to make weight pretty much my whole career. Making weight was harder than.
Why you say that? Why was it?
Because I'm a big tight end. I'm a big dude. I didn't pretty much we weighed in every Friday. Every Thursday, I didn't eat. I didn't eat or drink any water. I come to practice on Friday, drained every single Friday because I'm just trying to make weight. Then I get to Tennessee, they ain't even got a steam room. I get to New England the day before weigh-in. Belichick turned the power off in the steam room in the sauna.
Hey man, you see why the man win though. He like, look, you gonna get it done. You gonna get it done, or we gonna know you didn't.
He'd rather find you, but you healthy, than for us to be out there draining ourselves.
Oh, that is bad. Yeah.
And trying to lose 5 pounds before weigh-in. So that was the thing that I hated the most. I got stitches in my hand from breaking the scale from.
He broke the scale. You were mad because you didn't make weigh-in.
Oh, mad as hell, dog. Bam!
Do they still do that? Do they still have weigh-ins?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Okay.
And I'm sure they do. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. Guys get fined. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But I was like, the weight part was the thing that pissed me out the most. Man, to me, and I wish everybody thought the same way I think.
Yeah.
Winning games is the only thing that matters. You only get 16 of them, but now they get 17.
Yeah, go out there and win the game.
It's 365 days, and you only get. It's the only sport where you only get that many. You only get a small
little sample size to go out there and get it done.
You get a small window to get it done. So I'm like, man, just focus on winning the game. That's all I care about. I want to walk out of Mercedes-Benz Stadium happy because we done beat somebody down. Especially the Saints, the Aints, or whatever we call them.
Yeah, the Aints, the Canks. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. So look, let me ask you this. Let's talk about the team now. Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
So from a tight end's perspective, what does Kyle Pitts have to do to take that next level that the talent he has shows that he can potentially get to one day? To take that to a perennial Pro Bowler, or to take that to someone who gets back to the 1,000 yards a season. I know quarterback has to play a role in it, but what can be done on Kyle's end from a tight end's perspective to continue to grow and step into that position?
Well, a couple of things. One, I know Kyle's healthy. There were a couple of years that he wasn't really healthy. And two, we're going to need that quarterback. But for me, when you watch Kyle, he plays at 2 different speeds. There's a speed before he gets the ball and a speed when the ball touches his hands. If Kyle can play at the speed that he plays with when the ball is in his hands, he'll be the most unstoppable tight end in the National Football League. I'm glad that Kyle has his same position coach, Kevin Coger. Really good position coach. I'm glad that he doesn't have to change that because there's a whole new staff in. But for the most part, and you got to get them involved in all phases of the game. Early in the game,
get them in, make
later
them feel
in the
like
game.
You're part of it.
But all that inline blocking and stuff. I don't know if that's going to be his biggest contribution to the team. But if he could just play a little bit faster without the ball in his hands, get to his spot a little bit faster, communicate to the quarterback where he likes the ball. I think he'll be fine. From a number standpoint, it's always going to look great. But, we're trying to, get past that.
We're trying to win games.
This year's 6, and there's not been any playoffs. So, I think he wants to get there, got the contract out of the way, well deserved. But just play consistently a little bit faster before the ball is in your hand, and then I think it'll be fine.
Okay. I want to go back. I'm trying to get through all the coaches. Petrino, man. I know.
I don't like that guy.
Okay, good. I heard some. Roddy White had a chance to talk about Petrino. Abraham had a chance to talk about Petrino. How was it being coached by Petrino? To be brutally honest,
he was horrible. He's at my alma mater now, so I'm University of North Carolina to the day I die, and I hope we do better. We can't do worse offensively than we did last season. We were horrible in the NCAA last year, and he's a pretty good offensive coach. I think Arkansas was 18th in the country last year in terms of their offensive production. So they'll be better, and we'll be better. But my experience with him was not very good. It started off in training camp. My grandmother passed. I asked to go to my grandmother's funeral, and the response was more along the lines of how close were you to your grandmother.
Oh, whoa!
And it didn't work for me.
Who asked you that?
It didn't work for. That's how the conversation was going, and it didn't work for me. And I kind of went to Emmett Thomas, who's in the Hall of Fame. He was our defensive backs coach, kind of crying in his office and was like, I want to go lay my grandmother to rest. And he said, go lay your ma dear down. I'll take care of Coach. And then so we didn't have that good a rapport. But then I got voted as team captain, and, I'm trying to go through the season and do well. Roddy and Bobby had a great relationship. That was great for Roddy's career. I felt like the way the offense was going to go was going to be great for him. Mike not being there and Mike getting indicted was not good for any of us. Wasn't good for Bobby. It wasn't good for our team. But I just had a tough time dealing with him as a head coach because his communication was not there. I had a position coach that never coached for him before, and I had young guys in my room. I'm a leader. I got to get the information before we get to the field. I would ask my position coach. He would say, we'll take care of the practice, and then a young guy would mess up at practice, and then he would get yelled at. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, let me go to the coach and talk to the coach about, hey, can we kind of get this information a little bit faster so that I can get my young guys involved. And there was just a gap in communication. And, I go talk to him. He's like, you talk to your position coach. But the position coach ain't got the answer because he never coached for you before. So it was guys were getting yelled at unfairly because they didn't really know the information.
Wow.
And it was because it wasn't coming down clearly the right way. He's had 20 years to work on that. So I'm pretty sure that he communicates hopefully he communicates a little bit better. But, that was tough for me. And then if I've always said this, and I don't even know if it ever registers to anybody, if he yelled at me every day, he'd have been a better coach. But ignoring me was not the way to coach me. Yeah. If I ask you a question, just answer it. I'll pass it down to my guys in my room because I'm trying to lead. I want us to win. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like that there was a severe gap in communication between head coach to coordinator to position coach to team captain to players. There was no cohesiveness, and I don't understand how that can happen in a professional organization.
Man, Roddy had...
I don't know any organization that could thrive that way.
No, you can't. Roddy had come out and said that he feels like the way the offense was going to be structured, if Vick didn't get hurt that year, he felt like y'all were going to really do some things. He said the vibe was good. Vick was feeling good.
Vick was feeling really good.
But then when that
Vick
happened,
had a clear understanding of... Yeah, Mike had a clear understanding of where that offense was going to go. Roddy, I knew Roddy was going to take off. I mean, Roddy won all the runs. He was stronger than all the receivers. He was the most athletic. We had this clock at the top of the weight room, and our strength coach would have us jump up to see who could touch it, and Roddy could touch it with ease. I could never get close to it. Yeah. So I knew, he was going to take off. It was just that level of communication. And then, truth be told, I told you about that gap in communication. My position coach never coached with Bobby before. Okay. So there was a lot of things that he didn't know. Yeah. Roddy's coach was Paul Petrino. Yeah. He knew every aspect of that organization, of that scheme.
So the information was coming down to him the correct way. Not Absolutely. The way it was coming down to everyone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to ask the last question, and I don't really want to get into it, but I do. Mike Vick that year, the dogfighting allegations. Did you see that coming? And when he was indicted, how did you feel, man? Like, I know how me and Trey felt when we found out he was indicted. It broke our heart because that was our favorite player.
It was tough. I mean, I had a eye black with 7 on it right after he got indicted.
Yeah.
You know, and I got fined $10,000 for that.
Boy, they wild for that.
And then I know I appealed it, and I didn't get a dime of that back. But no, I did not see it coming. Mike talked about his dog. My dog this, my dog that. Ain't nobody talked about no damn operation of dogs. Yeah. So I don't know anybody that knew anything about no damn operation or anything like that. You know, you go to Mike's house, you see a dog. You don't see 50 dogs. Yeah. You know, so no, that was a shock to all of us. But the toughest thing, and I visited Mike when he was incarcerated. You know, I had a chance to go visit him. But the toughest thing was when this all went down, they came in and spoke to our team and was like, the feds are going to be monitoring your communication and all these different types of things, and they have a high incarceration rate. And we're just like, we want to tap into our guy and just make sure he's okay. You know, like, forget football. You know, but let's just chop it up. You know, let's talk about your family. Let's talk about what's going on with you. Like, forget all this other stuff that's going on. But they just tried to scare us into like
turning your back on them,
not having any. It wasn't. It wasn't a team. It was just people from the NFLPA flew in and talked to the team and just trying to give us a rundown on like how everything was going to go. And I just was like confused by it. I'm just like, Mike ain't gonna play for us this year. I know that. You know, I know enough about that. But like, can we at least check on our? They just kind of scared us, and they're like trying to talk to him, and like he might have felt at the time, in real time, that people were turning our back on us. But that's the noise that we were getting coming down from the organization, like from people in the organ. I don't know exactly who in the organization, but
it was coming down from people.
Yeah, it was telling us.
So look, we want to get to some comments. There's a lot of people that want to say what's up to you, and so before we start reading the comments, I do want to ask you.
My twin, who is my twin? Still
my boy, Stiller Mike, man. Look, listen, he's from Atlanta. That's my boy, my brother. That's my brother. He is a huge Stiller fan. He hates the Falcons, but he has the nerve to say you are his twin.
Everybody that hate the Falcons want to live here.
Yeah, and
he born and raised here.
He's a hometown.
He's born and raised. He grew up, went to Washington High School.
Oh no!
Like he's from the city. I'm talking about from the city. He is as Atlanta as it gets, with everything except the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm gonna get him a Dirty Bird towel.
Man, look, I told this story the last time we went live. Man came over my house for Christmas one year. I go upstairs to say something to my wife, leave him downstairs. I come back. He had my 2-year-old at the time with a Don Steelers hat on when I got back, taking pictures. My boy just smiling. Look, Dad, he just is happy. And then didn't know why I was trying to take it back from him. No, Dad, look, you about to give me that hat. My wife came down the stairs and said, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? But look, I want to ask you this. But before we get into the comments.
Hold on. I got my Ryan. Come here, Ryan. Come here. She got to go. I want everybody to say what's up to my daughter. We had a chance to have Christian come by, Carter come by. Come over here by Trey. I want everybody to say hey to my daughter.
I can see you on the camera right here.
Yeah.
You got to kneel down a little bit.
Everybody say hey to Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Just like Be Rich.
She had a chance to come visit me. I know you got to go. So, Caleb, can you take them down to their cars, man? I love you.
Love you too.
Thank you for coming by.
Take care, Ryan.
We'll see you.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you be safe. That's my girl right there, man. She awesome. Awesome human being. And she look like both of them, so you could say I guess she got the good parts from the mom.
Hey, look, as long as he don't show his face, we're good.
Bye, Ryan.
Look,
no, I'm talking about amazing human being. She really is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying that because that's his child. Like she really is a good one.
Trinity, we got to set up something. All right.
Yeah. She really is an amazing human being. So before we get to the comments, I do want to ask you. I mean, how does it feel being from a football family? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you had more than just you who played in the NFL, who made waves in Carolina, man. So just speak about that. Coming from a football family, did you feel any pressure? I don't know where you feel. I forget where you feel in the order of older or younger, but how was that?
No, I grew up the middle child. So my dad remarried. I have a brother and sister. My younger brother's at Rutgers right now. So shout out to Isaiah Crumpler at Rutgers. Camp just started. Do your thing, little bro.
There it is.
What position do you play?
He's a safety.
Okay.
He's a safety at Rutgers, playing for Greg Schiano. My dad was a running back, big time running back. Everybody thinks I'm 6'3", so I was one of the shorter tight ends in my room.
For?
My dad was in the Buffalo organization.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, he was in the Buffalo organization.
I didn't know that.
He had a guy named O.J. Simpson that was in front of him. So he was in the Buffalo. He was in the Buffalo organization.
Yeah.
But my dad was an all-time leading rusher at East Carolina. So
awesome.
He's in the East Carolina Hall of Fame, legendary. My older brother played 6 years in the league, 5 years with the Seattle Seahawks, 1 year with the Minnesota Vikings.
I didn't know none of this.
Yep. He's 6'6". You know, so
What
my
position he
dad was a 6'4" running back. My brother was a 6'6" tight end.
Wow.
He played for 5 in Seattle.
What year did he play in Seattle?
90. He got drafted in 94, and his last year was 99. Wow. 94.
So they kind of prepared you for the NFL. You was already mentally prepared when you came in.
Yeah, but I really, 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 really wanted to play football. You know, basketball was in my heart, but there weren't no 6'3" power forwards in the NBA, so I thought like football was going to be my thing. And then I told you earlier, Trey, I was a defensive player.
Yeah.
I was all defensive everything, in high school, and then until I went to that football camp at North Carolina and then start making plays in our 707s at the end of camp, and they were like, they were really the only school to recruit me to play offense. And then they tried to trick me the first couple of days because they gave me number 97 and they were going to put me on defense. I was like, hold on, dog. I came here because you said I was going to be tight end. So I was 97 for picture day, and then 82 when the season finally started.
97 in your program, 82 in your heart.
Absolutely.
So do you think
you ever seen a number 97 tight end?
Nope.
See how they tried to get me?
they tried to get me. Do you think developing as a football player on defense, do you think that helped you develop that tough mentality? How you say, hey, I need to see what it's like to be able to get somebody on the ground, to be able to finish one of these defenders and finish my block. Do you think starting off on defense help you get that kind of mindset to bring that toughness to the position?
I think tough
you feel like it's just you?
Yeah, I think tough is just a mindset. I mean, I think you just gotta. I remember such a lot of years, like when Mike Smith was here, we used to talk about the team weren't tough enough, and nobody could really put their finger on why. Nobody could answer that, but sometimes you got to go through the mud to be tough, and I felt like I went through it. I had to be tough. I started out as an offensive guard. Didn't like that. Then they moved me to defense, and I thrived on defense and was pretty much a defensive player until I got to college.
Hey, man, I love that. So, look, everybody has been waiting. Let's get to some comments. So we got a bunch of comments already in here. But, look, y'all that's still watching, drop some new comments. Let us know what you want us to ask Alge. Look, keep it respectful, man. Please, nothing foolish.
They can ask whatever they want to ask.
Okay. Alge
I respond in kind, but they can ask whatever they want to ask.
Okay. He said, ask whatever the hell you want to ask. Okay. I'm going to repeat it the same way. He said, where we at? So Q Brew 702 said, question for Crump. Who was a free agent you wish the Falcons would have signed that could have changed everything?
Terrell Owens. T.O.
Talk about what you feel like T.O. would have done for the Falcons, especially that year, because y'all lost in the NFC Championship too, but he played in the Super Bowl the game after, but he was hurt. But I saw T.O. and I talked to T.O. and he kept saying, this is your team. And, I'm like, man, you come here, it's fine for me. Yeah. You probably going to get even more.
The thing about people forget about Terrell Owens is he had over 150 touchdowns. T.O. knows how to get into the end zone. We needed guys that can score touchdowns because we weren't a big-time passing offense, but we need anytime we got in the red zone, we had to score.
Need to score.
We had to score, and he was just one of those. I wanted touchdown makers, guys that just know how to get into the end zone and make those type of plays. And I really, really, really wanted T.O. at that particular time. I never talked about it publicly, but I did meet him out. And he was like, he kept saying, "This your team, Crump. This your team." I was like, "Man, forget all that, man. Just come,
come in and play.
Come on over here."
Man, can you imagine T.O. playing for the Atlanta Falcons with them.
He had a house in Lithonia. He had a house here.
Yeah, I know.
He had a house here. He was always in Atlanta. I used to see him in the gym all the time. I used to teach T.O. all the time, like, man, come on. Just, like, it's time. Just come on over here. Come on home. I know you want to be here.
That would have been nasty, man. What else we got? Any other?
Hey, we had a joke, a running joke.
Uh-oh.
We said if T.O. and Vic was on the same team and he wasn't getting the ball, he's like, man, you're always running to Mexico, man. I'm running my routes and you running to Mexico.
We did used to say that all the time back in the day.
Because Vic's name of the thing was Ron Mexico at the hotel. Like, that was his alias.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, man, you up here running to Mexico. I'm out here running these routes. You need to throw me the ball.
That was a little joke that I used to say that all the time. We sure did. Man, what else we got in there? So our angel said Alge Crumpler was Vic's safety blanket. And that's why I say earlier, a lot of people feel like you were. I mean, look, anytime you got a tight end of your caliber, that's always going to be a safety blanket. I can look to my guy and give him the ball, but you weren't just a safety blanket.
He said he
called
16 yards.
I was a playmaker.
He's a playmaker, man. He wasn't a safety blanket.
Playmaker. If you take away my last year in Atlanta, my yards per catch was over 14 yards per catch for my career here. I made plays.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody gonna talk about it, so I got to do it.
Hey, you got to.
All right, so I got Andrew Kelly said, I want to know from Crump, how did Vic's arrest affect him and the rest of the Falcons locker room? You touched on it a little bit earlier, but that's the question that Andrew Kelly wants to know.
Well, I mean, one, we didn't win, and two, I stood up for Mike, and pretty much anybody that stood up for Mike, we were out of there. So Roddy was too young, so he wasn't going to go anywhere. But they got rid of me quick. But my production had declined that year in 2007. So I went to Tennessee for 2 years and New England for a year. I did the math. Those 3 years, we won more games when I was away for those teams than we did here. So I enjoyed myself.
Look, speaking of that, we're gonna get back to the comments. Speaking of Vic's arrest, you can't answer for either one of these men, and I don't even know if you've ever thought about this, but it's a lot of talk went around when they say Arthur Blank and Roger Goodell, the commissioner, pulled Vic into the office and asked him, is this true? Right when it was first going down, they want to know, hey, are you really involved?
A lot of people said if Mike would have told the truth, things would have been differently.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you got a lawyer, what are you going to do? You got to do whatever your lawyer says.
So now, listen to this. Watch the 30 for 30. Mm-hmm. The lawyer asked Vic, he said, Vic, I need you to tell me if you did or you didn't. If you tell me you did, I know to come at it this way. If you tell me you didn't, I know
Which
to come
lawyer,
at it.
though? Because at first, Mike...
The lawyer, it called him Matt. Coach, it was a white guy. He was cool. I
don't want to disrespect nobody, but Mike had a traffic ticket lawyer in the beginning trying to beat a Fed case before he hired a real lawyer.
Okay, maybe that's who it was.
So maybe the real lawyer. Now that way that came out, somebody probably come at me sideways. But
I get what
I'm
you're
just
saying.
going back.
I get what you're saying.
Without doing my research,
but
I'm going back thinking about it. I know Mike had to change to a group of lawyers that was a little bit more skilled than who he had originally when this whole situation went down.
I know you're talking about the guy that originally came in. That it was a black dude, and he had to bring on another guy, and they had to work together. But this was like his attorney that he had for years. And
that's what I'm talking about.
Maybe that's who it was.
That's not who the attorney that you have for years. Not gonna. We're talking about the feds.
Exactly.
We're talking about the feds.
You need the best of the best.
You got to hire the real people.
You're gonna break out that checkbook.
I'm not hired a brain surgeon to work on my feet.
You might ask them what's going on, but not to work on it. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think I need to speak to? You know what I'm saying? That's about it. Hey, that was a great analogy right there.
I probably should have said the other way around. I don't want a foot doctor working on my brain. But
I really don't want either one.
You get the analogy.
I have my feet thinking too much.
All the surgeries I've had, I'm glad I've hired the right people. I had a hip replacement and a knee replacement last year, so I'm glad I hired the right people.
Wow. Man, that is crazy, man. What else we got? But somebody said, where you get your hands from? Where you learn how to catch the ball? Like, so where did you learn to craft your skills to be an efficient catcher of the ball, tough catches, especially holding on, taking such a tough hit from Brian Dawkins? That's what Mr. Everything ATL wants to know.
Probably my love for basketball, wanting to make plays, and then I had a position coach named Tim Brewster who was very hard on me in college. My first 2 years before he went to Texas, but he's he's just very tactical in his approach in making sure that his guys make plays. Now he's a hard-nosed coach. A lot of people can't play for him because he will get after you.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, Kyle Pitts had him in college at Florida.
Okay.
He was his coach in Florida. He thrived under him. He probably I promise you, he rubbed Kyle the wrong way. Because there were times that he rubbed me the wrong way. But I still have a great relationship with Coach, still communicate with him and his family. But you need that type of coaching. I'm a big proponent in just hard-nosed, get after it coaching. That's why y'all haven't seen me in the public light or anything. I've kind of just faded to the black. I just kind of sit back because guys today are going to do things differently. The game has changed.
Yeah.
You know, the approach is different. So, like, I'm not trying to sit around and say, you got to do it this way, that old head mentality. You know, I did it the way I did it. It produced a certain level of success, and I want to see whatever more success for this organization right now with the guys that we have in the room. So I can't wait for the games to start. I can't wait to get out there and see those things. And I've already been to a training camp practice. You were out there.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, it's the watch and wait game. You know, right now everybody's 0-0. So we're going to see what's up.
You know, the funny thing about tough coaching, whether it's sports or it's life, it's tough to handle while you're going through it. But I think more people, a larger percentage who go through tough coaching or tough mentorship or whatever that is, tough teaching, I think a higher percentage comes out on the other end appreciating it.
Tough coaching only works with good people, though.
Okay.
You got to be
people willing to receive it.
No. The coach has to be a good person.
Okay.
That it only works that way.
Okay.
You have to be a good person, and you can still be a hard-nosed coach, but you have to be a good person. If we don't respect you, it doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah,
if we respect you, we will deal with what comes out of your mouth. Those Braves respected Bobby Cox. They respected Bobby Cox. They respect Kirby Smart. You've heard the things that come out of Kirby's mouth.
Yeah, they respect
when people record some things. Yeah. Kirby is a hard-nosed coach, but they respect him. Yeah. You know, Bobby got thrown out of probably more games than anybody in Major League Baseball history. Yeah. But I've talked to Chipper Jones. I've talked to Andrew Jones. Those players respected him. Yeah. As a person. So if they don't respect you, that hard nose, it doesn't go anywhere.
You kind of touched on this, but I still want to add Jay Black 142. He says Crumpler doing work with the Falcons is a great idea, great representative for us. I've always thought of Crumpler as an adult in the room for our team back in the day. So I'm gonna elaborate on this question, and you kind of answered it pretty much. But why don't you go out and help these guys out? Matt Ryan came in. I think a guy like you would come in and make a difference to the organization to get us to that final championship that we need to get, man.
I don't think the organization was receptive early on for a lot of former players.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know. I've never really asked anybody. You know, would have been the first one on the jump on the table for Chuck Smith to come into the organization and work with the team. But they, for some reason, it just Chuck doesn't bite his tongue. He's a throwback, you know. But they never brought him in. He goes to Baltimore, and what does Baltimore do? The first year he's there, they led the team in sacks. That's what Baltimore did. His first year, like 3 or 4 years ago, as a position coach with the Baltimore Ravens, they lead the NFL in sacks.
Could have had that here.
That resource has been in Sewanee, Georgia, half a mile from me.
Yeah.
The whole time, coaching guys and being around guys. But when I retired, I jumped right into radio. I kept it a buck. I was, I'm coming off the heels of the 2 Live Stews, guys that let me sit in on their radio show whenever I was playing, so I had to come in, and we're drafting guys like Peter Kahns and Lamar, just offensive linemen that aren't really doing anything. So, people are asking me my opinion, and I'm just like, we putting water in a Ferrari. You got Matt Ryan at quarterback, and you can't keep him upright. You know, I'm like, come on, man. Like, find a way to protect the biggest asset in your organization, and we just couldn't do that. And Matt was never going to say it, you know, so I said it. So I there were years that I did not feel welcome, you know, in the organization, even though I was a season ticket holder. I got 8 PSLs. You know, I just sold 4 of them. I told you, I've missed 5 games, 5, maybe 6 games since I retired.
Yeah.
At Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So you check my history. Everybody that sits in my section, 111, sees me every single week. But I don't know. But you know, I feel welcome. I feel welcome now. You know, I felt welcome for years. But the early years after I retired, I didn't feel welcome in the organization. But I love the people that are there. And then a lot of times when you have turnover, we have staff turnover every single year. Yeah. Those people they don't know you. Yeah. You know, I'm not Michael Irvin. My face ain't recognizable. I got to scan in to go down to the bathroom when I go to Flowery Branch. You know, so they don't know everybody, because if you can get to a point where, like when Mac Brown came back to university, it was the same way at North Carolina. When Mac Brown came back to University of North Carolina, it was like, oh, Alge, come on, you know, because you're one of our guys. You're one of our guys. So you've got to have you've got to have a coach that's here for a long time. Yeah. That's consistent for a long time, that can bring guys back. But when you're just turning over guys every 2 or 3 years, it's just they don't really know.
Well, I can honestly say, man, I had season tickets every year you was a Falcon. I went to all the games, so I didn't miss a game that you played when you played here in Atlanta, man. Me and Trey went to a couple. I invited him to some of the games as well.
I appreciate it. You guys had Wes Durham on. He called every single one of my pro games here.
That's awesome. Man, Wes is a good dude, man.
Wes is great.
I talked to Wes yesterday. He said he's going to come on the show real soon again.
And then his late father, Woody, called every single one of my college games.
Oh!
That's awesome.
North Carolina.
Yeah, because his father legendary. At UNC. Legendary calling games for
Woody
basketball
Durham.
to football. Legendary. Man, let's see what else we have. We're almost winding down with Crump. Let's see what else we got. We got any new comments, anybody? Somebody want to look. Bone Zone 4, this is what they want to know. Did you and Vic used to go out in the clubs in the city?
I used to wait at the, you know, I'm gonna take you back to the free before 11 days, and you had to print out the passes. The guys had to print out the passes. I used to wait outside the club for Mike to get there, because just so I could get in for free.
Yeah.
I used to wait.
They weren't letting Big Crump in there?
Nah, dog, I was a young pup.
Oh no. So
Mike was a rock star. I was a young pup.
Once you started making plays, they started letting you in?
A little bit, man. Only place I go now, I smoke cigars, so that's about the only time you'll see me out. But like, I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all heard of guys having those NFL cards?
Back in the days?
Yeah, back in the days. Yeah. Those NFL, the NFLPA used to give us these cards, and the old heads said, "Yeah, man," it was a joke, but we didn't know. The old heads said, "Yeah, man, you show that card, they get you know, they let you in." Man, all that card did was give them the right to upcharge me 5 times more.
Like you got the money now.
5 times more. Man, I gave that card to one of my homies. Man, I don't want the card ever again, dog. Until I make enough plays where they know me. Yeah. But yeah, the old Buckhead. Yeah, we used to hang out in the old Buckhead. But I used to wait. I literally used to just like sit outside and just kind of walk up and down the strip until Mike get there, and then just kind of slide on in. But I had a good time back in the day.
And Andrew Kelly got a question, and it's for all 3 of us. He said, "I need Crump, B. Rich, and Trey to give their input on the new coaching staff, Stefanski in particular."
They're here, so let's see what they're gonna do. You know, Matt, we trusted in Matt. Matt hired the guy. He's been coach of the year multiple times. That's the version of Kevin Stefanski that I want here in Atlanta. The one that won coach of the year in a division with Mike Tomlin and who's the new Giants coach? Harbaugh. You know, you had Harbaugh in it. That was a tough division, and he won it 2 times. He was 2 times coach of the year. So
Cincinnati was making a little noise during that time too.
Yeah, Cincinnati was making a lot of noise. So you know, we get that version of Kevin Stefanski. Our ceiling's going to be very high. You know, if we don't get that version, then we'll get, you know, a version that Falcon fans are used to. We got to get past that.
So my thought process, what I think.
But he hired a great staff, by the way.
Yeah. So and I was finna just elaborate on that a little bit.
Especially keeping Brick. Shout out to Coach Brick.
100%.
Prayers up for your family, but
Yes.
keeping the defensive staff, the key pieces on that defensive staff, I think helps too.
I think you pretty much just said what I was about to say. Now me, I wasn't on board with the Stefanski hire when we first hired him. Just him by himself. I didn't understand it. I kind of felt like, okay, we got a coach who was doing similar to what our coach was doing as far as records.
Absolutely,
the last
it's hard
few
to
years.
understand it.
So I didn't get it. But when I started to see the veteran staff that he started to put together, knowing that we have a lot of offensive pieces and a lot of young players that need to be able to be coached up and the ball be put into their hands, I feel a lot better about the coaching staff he put together. And like you said, keeping Ulbrich, I think that was very important to keeping the continuity together with the defense. And so we on the show Monday, I asked what's one thing that cannot go wrong for the Atlanta Falcons to succeed this season, and the one I picked was the defense cannot regress. And so keeping Ulbrich was a big part of making sure that defense doesn't regress. So that's my thoughts on Stefanski. He's here now, like Crump said.
He's here now,
and we'll see what happens.
I mean, y'all pretty much said it all coming behind that. In Matt Ryan, we trust. I'm going to go there.
Okay. All right. So SWAT's Atlanta 74 said, what was the hardest hit you ever took?
It wasn't Dawkins.
Okay. Tell us about it.
It wasn't Dawkins. Special teams, man.
Okay.
Special teams, kickoff return. There were a couple of hits that I took. They do those little sky kicks. They kick the ball over your head. I'm looking. And we're not supposed to start because, back in the day we had the wedge.
Yeah.
It's illegal to do wedges now. So they literally had guys that were wedge busters on the other team. Man, I got knocked into oblivion, and then I'm in the huddle.
Yeah.
And I think Nick Sorensen got me one time. I think Vontae Leach got me one time. I think who's the coach of the Patriots? Mike Vrabel. I think he got me one time, and then when the offense is out there and they want to call it all go first play, I can't see nothing. I'm seeing stars. I'm running routes. I don't see nothing. You talking about I got great hands? I promise you, I'm running the routes. It take 3-4 plays before I realize what's going on. So the special teams back in the day was different, man. My very first, I don't know much time ago, but my very first preseason game in Atlanta Falcons history, Dan Reeves, I was only supposed to play. I was the third tight end. Mm-hmm. Reggie Kelly and Brian Kozlowski were going to play. Kaz was going to play all the third downs for the first half. Okay. I was on every special teams. So in my mind, I'm only playing special teams, and I'll play the second half. The very first kickoff return, y'all remember the name Kendrell Bell?
I do remember.
University of Georgia.
Did he
played for the Steelers.
Yeah, I would say he went on to the Steelers, right?
University of Georgia. I think he was Defensive Player of the Year my rookie year.
Okay, yeah, I definitely remember that name, Kendrell Bell.
We're in the wedge. We run down. Everybody kind of holds hands, and then we take off. And it's like Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards. They come.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Kaz is gone, so I got to go find some work.
Yeah.
I turn around, and he knocked out. Cold. I played every snap of special teams and almost every snap of tight end for that game. I was dead to the world after my first preseason game, all because he got knocked out cold, like smelling salts, like knocked out cold. The very first kickoff return in my pro career in preseason. So when you see some shit like that,
yeah.
He's like, it's real in the field. It's real in the field.
This ninja that got knocked
out. Cold. Multiple teammates of mine have been knocked out. I saw Bob Christian get knocked out.
Yeah.
Eyes open, completely asleep. Brian Kozlowski got knocked out.
Dang.
Straight smelling salts. And it's that it's amazing that you're welcome to the NFL moment. It had nothing to do with me personally. It was just looking back and seeing my teammate
and you like, wow,
out cold.
Oh, this is serious, man. So what else we got? Go down some. Let me see. Oh, so I saw it was still a Mike asked the question. I'm gonna go ahead and ask it anyway. Go up a little bit.
Brown's Mill.
He said, right there, Alge, what is your favorite team outside of the Falcons? And no, it's not the Steelers, Mike. I'm gonna answer that for him already. What's your favorite team outside of the Falcons?
That I played for, or just outside the Falcons?
I guess I don't know if he asking. I mean, we know.
I mean, I'm a Tar. I'm all Tar Heels, so I don't know how we'll do this year football wise, but I'm all Tar Heels. I love my Titans. I'm gonna go up September the 13th. The weekend we play the Steelers, so I won't be watching the Falcons play the Steelers that weekend. But my teammate Chris Johnson just diagnosed with ALS. He's getting inducted into their Ring of Honor up there. So I'm gonna go up there and spend some time with my former teammates and him. But that moment was tough for me hearing that news. And then I won't say I'm a Patriots fan, but I'm a fan of some of the teammates that I had when I was there. Yeah. Vince Wilfork, phenomenal teammate. Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, they were phenomenal teammates of mine that I had a chance to be around every single day. I was a captain on that team too. So,
Patriots?
Yep. So getting a chance to meet with Bill. Yeah, having a chance to meet with Bill, every single week. First time I ever sat in a captain's meeting, I'm in there with Tom Brady, Vince Wilfork, and a couple other guys, and I don't want to say shit. He's asking all these questions. I'm like, man, Tom, you tell him. Vince, you tell him. And then Bill looked at me and was like, you're in here for a effing reason, man. Open your mouth. So, we created that dialogue, and we spoke, every single week, and we met every single week, and I had a great time, in that organization. Didn't end the way I wanted it to, but I had a great time in that organization. But I wouldn't say I'm a fan of the team, but I'm a fan of the experiences that I gained from being around my teammates. And most players will tell you, like, what you miss the most is the locker room. Yeah. So I miss being around guys every single week.
So I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna read a couple more comments, and then we're gonna probably get up out of here and got some more questions. I do want to say, as a Falcon fan, as a fan of Atlanta sports, I think a lot of us, and people in the comments can say if they agree, I think a lot of us feel like our players don't get their just due. Like, we always feel like the Atlanta players don't get the respect they deserve. We feel like the Falcons get ished on. We feel like if some of our players played under another helmet, another organization, they would be more heralded than some of the respect and the love they get here in the city. We feel like it would be more national or worldly. So for me, it's so good to hear you talk about Bill Belichick making you a captain and giving you that respect, because regardless of me hating the Patriots or not, I respect what they went out and accomplished. And to hear you getting all that just due that you deserve and more outside the city of Atlanta, where you made so many plays for us as Falcon fans, that makes me feel good to hear that you got that kind of respect coming from a legendary coach like that, man. So yeah, that was really good for me.
But
man.
That happened. One, we had 2 young tight ends in the room, and 2, like, how you show up to work every single day. That's the only reason those things happen. Is you got to show up, you got to do the work, and you got to prioritize winning. And I felt like that organization, more than anything, prioritized winning. I love Atlanta, but I'll tell you one thing about living in Boston: you ain't gonna just walk around with a Lakers jersey on in Boston. But you go to a Falcons game, I'm seeing Cowboys jersey and we playing the Steelers. I'm seeing, Chiefs jerseys and we playing the Dolphins. But in Boston, it's you rep your team,
or you don't rep nobody
else. You don't rep nobody else. But it's a city of transplants, so I get it. My college roommate's from Texas, and when I give him tickets, he'll wear a Cowboys jersey, and I've been wanting to slap the mess out of him. But that's just how it is in Atlanta. Everybody's got their team, just like Steeler Mike over there on these comments.
Man, oh yeah, man. Yeah, he was asking your favorite NFL team. So I do want to read a comment. I got Big Low, man. That's how I got Big Low Country.
Shout out to Big Low.
Amazing human being, amazing man, amazing. content creator as well. He does amazing Falcons content. He said, I got knocked myself out on a play one time. He said, I woke up, finished the game, didn't make any mistakes, got back on the bus after the game and thought we were going to the game. That's funny. So Richard Russell, 3685 said, Alge, what are your thoughts on our new OC?
Don't know much about him. I know he's a young OC, so I'm hoping that he'll be very creative in the offensive play calling. Kevin's an offensive guy, so he'll pretty much shape how this offense goes. But the biggest thing for me is I don't read a lot of the articles leading up to the team. If a guy gets hurt, I'll learn that way. But I just need to see the product that's on the field, and that's how I formulate my opinions that way. I want to see, our guys finishing plays, our guys hustling, our guys, making spectacular plays. 'Cause I played against guys that made some spectacular plays. I want to see if I can see some hints out there. I want to see if, Avion Terrell can get beat on a double move. Can he recover? Can he get back into position? Because guys are going to make mistakes, but I want to see how they respond to those mistakes, and I think that's the mark of a great team.
And I want to ask you this. I got a chance, to go to training camp, and I got a chance to see Tommy Reese and Matt Ryan out there throwing to the receivers, and those guys are NFL arms. How would you feel? How does it feel that you see Matt Ryan out there tossing the ball, and not just? I mean, he's doing drills. How would that make you feel as a player to see your president doing that? Does it give you credibility, like when he talks? Like, are you gonna go?
No, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I think it's no different than Michael Jordan when he was the owner of the Bobcats and the Hornets, being out there a couple of times at practice.
I like that.
Just being out there, just being around the guys. I mean, guys respect guys that have kind of walked in your shoes. Now, there are some great coaches that weren't great players, but guys do respect the guys that have done it. So if Matt Ryan can go out there and spin it, in warm-ups, it's going to make me a little bit more excited.
All right, 2 more comments, then we up out of here, y'all. And I got DMW Britton, and then we got Isaiah Harris, and then we're going to go ahead and close everything down. DMW Britton, welcome back, my guy. He's always supporting. He said, Crumpler, what was your most memorable moment while being a Falcon, and why?
I can't tell you anything about how I played that Green Bay Packers game when we went up there and won the first team, but I can tell you everything about how we felt when we walked off that field. And that part of the game meant a lot. I felt like we were going in the right direction organizationally after going up to Green Bay. Now, it felt like 2 different games. When we got to Lambeau, it was about 40 degrees and the weather was good. When we went in the locker room at halftime and came out, it was about 25 degrees and snowing. So we just held on for dear life in the second half. But just winning that game, I felt like meant a lot because when we came back, man, we got like a huge reception. And everybody was like very excited for the city. So I just felt like we were going in the right direction.
I mean, I was proud of that game. That was the first time that the Green Bay lost at Lambeau in the playoff game. Y'all were the first team to ever do it. So that was a proud moment for me. So thank y'all, man, for that.
I tell you, like I remember like Mike getting chased by Kabir Bajabia-Miller and pushing him off, but I can't remember anything about like how I played in that game or anything. I just know how excited we were on the plane flying back and just going to the locker room celebrating, seeing Arthur Blank his first playoff win. It was a good moment for us.
Man, yeah, that really was good. As a fan, that was an awesome game. Deckett was getting off. We blocked the punt. Man, we were doing all kind of stuff. Yeah, we blocked the punt. We were doing, y'all was out there doing some things, man. Last question, man, then we're going to shut down the interview. Isaiah Harris said, do you think the Falcons missed an opportunity to hire Bill Belichick a few years back?
No.
Okay. You want to explain why or elaborate or just no?
I thought Rob was a good coach. I just thought he just had 1 or 2 moments that missed the mark. But I thought he was a really good coach. But we're all responsible for the record that we put on the field. it wasn't acceptable enough, and we went from there.
Just think about this: we won. Nick Folk missed field goal away from him still being here.
See, I mean, I felt like he was a good coach. He just missed the mark.
Yeah, he tied himself to the wrong OC, unfortunately. Somebody
that's a big part of it. Your hires are important.
Yeah.
And our organization was at a point where we needed to take that next step. So, and the same thing with Arthur Smith. I thought we were just one or two plays away there. I felt like if they could have got the quarterback situation right at the right time, he'd probably still be here as well.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody said hit the dirty bird, man.
My name is Crump, not Juice. I'm going to leave that to the originator. I'm going to leave that to the originator, OJ Santiago.
Hey, well, look, we about to get on up out of here, man. Crumpler, thank you, my brother. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
Man, like, as we do this show, we hit certain marks and certain things happen that let you know you're going in the right direction. We saw you out at the event. It was 4 a day, and you recognized both of us, and that meant a lot to us because you mean a lot to us as what you did for the Falcons. You were one of the players who we had nothing but respect for
what
the
does,
A.
What does hat say for the A?
Yeah.
And if anybody's for the A, it's the Waterboyz Show.
There we go. Hey, we clipping that. Hey, look, man. So, look, like we always say, we appreciate y'all always coming out, man. Look, the show is nothing without you guys. Thank you for your love and support. Like we always say, the Waterboyz Show. We represent Atlanta because Atlanta represents us. On behalf of myself, Trey, we got the great and legendary Alge Crumpler in the building. Got my brother, B. Rich. We got Staring Aaron, staring through a window near you, man, just waiting to run out of somebody's yard.
Oh, you see 10 subscribers just left.
Then, of course, we got Doug, our young guy, Caleb, man, Mario, Stillamite, T. Terry. Hey, man, the kids are back in school, my boys and Doug's boy. We had Ryan stop through the day, man, and Cuz. And look, on that note, man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. The Waterboyz Show, we are out.
Kill the camera. Thank you.